All right, beautiful black sheep people. This is the Lunar Empowerment Report. We're doing it every day for at least one lunar cycle. I like to put a little bit more content out there, a little bit more perspective for people, a little bit more because I feel better when I do it. I enjoy giving and I enjoy receiving what comes back, and I know you're having a great time. So the moon looks a little bit like that right now, and we're moving into the time. Or actually, we're well into the time. We're coming up closer and closer now to the full moon. And today's idea is willingness to slow down and feel opens the heart. The willingness to slow down and feel opens the heart. So right now, I said it yesterday, and even if you look at the moon and it's halfway, it kind of looks like a bow pulled back, right? This is when the resistance is really good. Welcome the resistance. The resistance is power. We got to reframe this idea. Sometimes we get in our resistance and we use it as a mind trip to get stuck and not to do what we set out to do at the new moon. No, what I'm saying is the resistance is power. And if you're wobbly with it, get your hands in the dream. That's where we are. That's the phase that we're in. It's called Are My Hands in the Dream, right? The willingness to slow down and feel opens the heart. Because what we want to do when we release that resistance, we want that arrow to be pointed in the right direction. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Deliverance, but there's a point in there where he's got the arrow and he's got it on this deer, but he's moving it around and he doesn't have his breath quite right and he's in a hurry and he misses the shot. And so I want you to think in terms, I'm inviting you to think in terms or envision in terms of this time of the moon, especially getting up to the full moon, can get very, very intense and there's a lot of resistance. And we can either pull it back and we can get wobbly with it or we can get real strong with it. So this is a time to get your yoga practice or your stretching or your study work. It's like spend a little extra time on it. And that's what this is saying. Willingness to slow down and feel opens the heart because we want to go into our life with an open heart, not taking the resistance to shut down, our feeling body. Okay, so the journaling today is what fears and misperceptions, or whose fears and misperceptions are these? We carry around these ideas and they get lost in the resistance right now. And in this time in the moon, we want to acknowledge them and let them go. Are my hands in the dream? You gotta get your hands in the dream. Get busy with your life. Get busy living. Get busy dying. Right? I mean, this is a journey we're all on, and this is a great time in the moon to find out what you're made of, and look back at your intentions of life. Look back. Reconnect with some partners that can help you see through your own stuff and really take some good solid action. When our heart is open, then we can intuit the correct action and we don't have to work so hard. I mean, that's the big inverse paradox that we're in. When we open the heart, our intuition opens, we can listen to the voice of God or to our intuition, whatever you want to call that. We get the message and all of a sudden we get the right action that we might not have found for days and days and days with really hard work because we were looking for something to solve something that really didn't exist in the way that we saw it. So that's one thing about this moon course that we're doing is we recognize we don't see it correctly. And I don't know why I haven't gotten a card yet. I guess I need to talk. There it is. First card out. Let's agree in obvious knowing this planet is abundance and completely overflowing. We see there are more empty hotel beds on any given night than there are folks in a bedless plight. We know that enough food is thrown out on every single shift for restaurants to put the plates outside for the hungry to lift. We recognize there is enough of all things already to ensure no one wonders if tomorrow we recognize there is already enough of all things to ensure no one wonders of the basics tomorrow brings. So this card is really talking about, gosh, we built in the image here, right? It's like we've built these cities. We have vast resources on this planet. We've built cities. We've got buildings and buildings and buildings that don't have anybody living in them. They're just everywhere. We have piles of clothes. We have plenty of money. We have the capacity to just not only grow food, but distribute the food to every single person. There are enough of all things. And so that's what we recognize by looking into the reflection of the moon that we don't see the whole picture. We can't, because we've built societies with all of this wealth and all of this opulence, and yet we aren't taking care of everyone. We're not letting the abundance that we already all have the entitlement to flow around. And I know it's a personal journey for everybody, that any person can open up to anything, and giving and receiving are the same. It sure helps to give. It sure helps to give everybody the basics. What could we build if everybody had the basics, right? What could we build? Second card out, we agree to agree from the very start. We always say yes to our heart. We always say yes to our heart. We always say yes to our heart. So today's ideal, willingness to slow down and feel, opens up the heart. We always say yes to our heart. What could be lost if we spend a little bit of time every single day opening the heart? Wouldn't we be more joyful? Wouldn't we be more compassionate? And wouldn't we be more efficient at what we did? And that's what our society, when we don't see the words on this card and we see that society back there, you can kind of see the smog. There's a lot of busyness and a lot of workaholism going on, because that's what happens. We have all these addictions, and in this world we're trying to fix all these problems, and we're working, thinking it's going to give us something, but nobody's in any peace. And we got all these people that we keep stepping over to get to our high-paying jobs, and it's wow. So we have to look beyond all that and say, no, let's agree in obvious knowing that this planet is already abundance and overflowing. Isn't that great? All right, so the 7 of coins comes up. Now, this is really interesting. This is a really interesting read for our moon, because we're saying we always say yes to the heart. And this fella right there is saying yes to his heart. The 7 of coins sometimes is like a mess in your business or earthly pursuit life. And it's sometimes it's a failure card, to be quite frank. But we have to redefine what our ideas about success and failure are, I think, to create a compassionate economy. Next one out is the Princess of Wands. So the Princess of Wands. So some movement in our lives right now with the lunar cycle, which is taking us into a journey of expressing ourselves in our passions and our desires and our wants, and with that fiery part of ourselves. We're being asked to take some time out. Don't look at life as failure. Look at life as success. Look at our compassionate way of being. If you find yourself in a mess, have self-compassion and rest, okay? If you find yourself in a mess, if you go into judgment, you're not going to move to the next level. You're going to get stuck in the resistance, and then the full moon is going to be challenging for you. So what this is saying is, make sure right now, and this is everything that's said in the card too, the willingness to slow down and feel opens up the heart. So we got a direct reflection of that here. When you open up the heart, we give way to our desires, and we create movement in our passions. Yeah, this moon cycle in February, I think we're going to look back at February 2022 and say that was the month when a lot of things really changed. It really came around. That was when I really found myself. That was really when things started working out for me. And bing, ding, 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 the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is about creating beautiful memories in life. It's about having 6 of Cups. They're all full. They're all lined up. See how these are all lined up at the bottom there? All these cups and the big smiles on everybody's faces. And there's a photograph in there of memories of an earlier time, right? It's like, that's what this 6 of Cups is about, is emotional fulfillment of living a life where your cups are full. And the 6s are always about success. They're always about success. So the Princess of Wands is telling us to use the moon right now to don't forget about your wants and desires. Don't forget about your passion. Don't forget about your passion. Don't forget about your passion. Remember your passion. Remember your passion. The 7 of Coins is saying, hey, slow down. Slow down over there. Where are you going? Don't rush off. Like, things take time to build. Things take time to build. And if you're taking time out, or you're feeling like maybe something went upside down on you, take time out and have some fun. Don't beat yourself up, because the 6 of Cups, the fond memories, are really what we make of them. And we can do that when we open our hearts to compassion and recognize that the abundance is all around us. The abundance is all around us. We agree to agree from the very start. We always say yes to our heart. Bottom of the deck, King of Daggers. This is about getting really clear right now. Getting really clear. Getting really clear. Get really clear, everybody. Get really clear. Follow your heart. Say yes to your heart. Say yes to yourself in this lunar cycle. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you Monday and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Colorado Mountain Time. And there's a Zoom link. Go check out our website, like, share, and subscribe. And may you have an absolute best day of your life.